Okay guys, welcome back. So this is my take on the April Fool's event, the nuclear thunder, nuclear option thingy. So I do not want to focus on gameplay alone here. I'm sure you've seen this already countless times, you've watched this or the other video about it. What I want to focus on mostly here is what it actually means for War Thunder. So in the past, Gaijin always has done some of these events which meant something for the game, where they tested stuff, right? There were some April Fool's events that, like long ago, which didn't actually test stuff. For example, if you remember, I don't know when it was, 2014 or 15, when we had these little ponies in the air and they were shooting like rainbows or whatever that was. Basically, that was nothing, right? That was just really a fool's event where we could just fool around and have some light-hearted fun. But this right here is different. This is a test for what is to come for War Thunder, in my opinion, if this event turns out to be popular. And I think it is. So let's first focus on how this gameplay works, what this really means. So yes, this is from the third-person perspective. This is not a sim-centric mode. They could make it into sim relatively easily. But it's not really just that, right? This is RB-centric, and it is basically RB enduring confrontation. Back in the day, there was one test of EC, RB-EC, and it was, in my opinion, popular with the community. You could hear mourning about it because it was gone for so long. There was an interview with BVVD the other month where he said it wasn't actually popular, but everybody in the community who played it said otherwise. In any case, this is what this is. If you look at the map, it's a large-ish map, especially considering RB maps normally are much, much smaller than this. You have a multitude of objectives. Some of them are known, like these emplacements with convoys and stuff, or bases to bomb. Some of these are known. Some are new, like the search radars and everything else. The Hawk sites and other things like that. So it's really something new that they're trying here. I think if this is popular, RBEC in some way, shape or form might hopefully come back. This is a living, breathing match, which is in stark contrast to what you're normally used to from RB. The normal RB matches are over in like 5 minutes, right? It's really disgusting. It's one of the reasons why I don't bother with it. It's just you can't identify with a match. You can't dive in a match, pushing the front lines back and forth, and there's no incentive to actually do something of meaning, because it's over so quickly. It's like I don't know, modern RB matches kind of feel like watching a TikTok video that you have forgotten after 10 seconds anyway, right? But this is different. This is much, much different. The match you're seeing in the background is that lasted for 2 hours, I think. It's really long. And the RB crowd, we are used to this in Sim, but the RB crowd has no idea that this is even possible, you know. And then there is, yeah, so this is the first most important, even for me, thing. Maybe War Thunder is going into a more meaningful direction, giving players an actual incentive to play the game instead of hopping in and out of matches and treating everything like it could be forgotten about super quickly. So this is the whole RB-EC thing. Then second, what's also important, but a little bit less important, is just a gameplay element. is that these bombers that you're seeing in the background, the Tu-95, but also the B-52H, I think it is, they have ECM, so they can't be targeted so easily. This is obviously coming, and why is it being tested? Well, that's quite simple, because in the future, probably at the end of the year, we will have stealth jets in the game, right? But the problem with stealth jets is that they need to be mixed in together with other planes, right? So that you can't just play stealth jet versus stealth jet. It's because of how the BR system works. Maybe a stealth jet is 15.0 or 15.3 of BR or something like that, and that means you will see non-stealth jets in your games. Now, obviously, because of how stealth works, normally that would mean that the stealth jets have a massive advantage over anything that isn't stealth, because, you know, they can't be seen on radar so easily. And what ECM does is basically it allows for scrambling of radar signals. And that means that they could and will put ECM on non-stealth planes to make them compatible with stealth matches, if you will. So basically, you have a non-stealth plane, let's say the J-15T, which has ECM in real life integrated. And you put on the ECM in a match, and then it will mean that, for example, just to throw a number around, a stealth jet, an Su-57 or an F-22 will see you only at, let's say, 30 kilometers. And by that time, if you balance it kinda correctly, you can also see the stealth jet, because you burn through the stealth, so to say. And that would mean that you have a certain compatibility between stealth jets and non-stealth jets. This is absolutely needed. Otherwise, they would have to create matches where it's exclusively stealth versus stealth, and because of how the BR system works, this isn't possible. So this is the second test, and I think it's working. So yeah, it is. It works. You can't be targeted so easily. Locked on with radar. The plane that I'm flying right here, the Tu-95, it shows the ECM as IRCM. As if you look in the upper left corner right there, it says IRCM. I think this is obviously an error, because it's not IRCM, it's ECM, it's electronic countermeasures. IRCM is infrared countermeasures, what you already are used to from helicopters, for example. This is not what this is, it's ECM. And yeah, you can't be locked so easily with radar. That's what it does. You can still be locked, but you have to get closer to the target. That's what ECM does, in a very condensed form, of course. The last test is anti-radiation missiles. These, in my opinion, need work still, because they're kind of pointless. It's not about the range, but it's about that they're being shot down by everything. So you attack a hawk-site, for example, with the anti-radiation missile, and the hawk-site just shoots it down. So it's a little bit pointless. This is the last test. You will need these for ground RB and also sim, I guess, because in the future we will have really powerful anti-air systems, for example the S-300, and it's only going to be more modern from that time on, right? So you need something to counter these. Now, in the current game mode, in this test, I was only be able to attack hawk sites and search radars. I could not see, or the missile could not see Gepards and other things, but I've been told by Toastman that he was able to attack those. I don't know why it didn't work for me. These are still a little bit janky, right? At the current stage, how it is right now, it is more profitable or logical to take 3 KH-29s or the equivalent on the western side, and just spam those, because the range is kind of similar. The effective range is kind of similar anyway, and you get 3 instead of 2. So again, this is only for this game mode, but yeah, I wouldn't use the anti-radiation missiles. They're not effective enough. They're not fast enough, and in general, they suffer from the phenomenon of Iron Dome meta. You know, basically shooting missiles with other missiles. If that would not be a thing, I think this would be quite useful. But as it is right now, as long as you can easily intercept missiles, and as long as even the AI is able to easily intercept missiles, that does not really make sense to me. Rather take something that can't be shot down so easily, or something with which you can overwhelm the enemy defenses, or trick them or something like that. You know, for example, take a couple of S8 rockets or HVAR rockets or whatever you want, and then after you have fired these off, then fire the barrage of long-range standoff weapons. Again, this needs work. This isn't finished. I think Gaijin, well, hopefully they realize that it's not good enough at the current stage. And this concludes it. So this is, again, a really meaningful event. It's not just something to forget about. This is, if Gaijin does it correctly, a look into the future of the game for the normal mainstream. I wish there was a sim option, really, because imagine playing this in sim with... Imagine you are taking off from an airfield, and you are in a MiG-25, and you attack a B-52 bomber formation coming in, right? That's great. That's really cool. Come on. So yeah, I wish they had a sim version of this. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they wake up the one guy who does sim for Gaijin, and they tell them, hey, I mean, they just have to implement this, right? It's not hard. They just have to delete the markers and put everybody in the cockpit, and then maybe put a couple of bot bomber formations in, and then it's already done. They could do this in a day if they wanted to. Let's hope. There's a little bit of hope. But as it is right now, even for the mainstream, this is good. This is basically, yeah, it's enduring confrontation with modern stuff in, and I'm quite happy with. I have to commend Gaijin here, that they're trying something new, and this is what the first moment for me where Gaijin, or where War Thunder as a game felt fresh to me since years. Like, you know, even when there's a new patch normally, a couple of new vehicles come in, okay. Maybe a new map comes in, okay, but nothing, it's all short-term hype, right? We didn't have a new meaningful game mode for literally like over a decade now. And this is something that could be the future. I hope it is, and I hope you have enjoyed my little ramblings here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.